Good afternoon. My name is Tom Reynolds. I'm the Dean of the Graduate School, and it is my very great pleasure to welcome you all to the 2022 New Graduate Student Orientation. We know you're all busy, and we're very pleased you took the time this afternoon to join us for what I will believe will be a very useful event. Well, our goal is to get you started on the right pathway for what you're about to embark on in your graduate education. I'm going to only talk a couple of minutes, but I did want to give you a little bit of background about why we're so happy to have you here today as graduate students. Many universities have different missions. There are some universities who specialize in undergraduate liberal arts programs. Davidson College is a good example for that. Others specialize in professional degree programs. And I think High Point University has really made a name for itself for doing that. UNC Charlotte is known as a research university. Okay, what does that mean? Well, obviously, faculty are engaged in research and scholarship. But that enterprise is tied to the educational mission of the university through graduate education. That's the reason why research universities are known not only by the quality of the research and scholarship that's conducted, but also by the quality of the next generation of scholars, entrepreneurs, researchers who graduate and go on and be leaders in their respective fields. You are the engine that runs us as a research university, and we are so glad that you are here, that you decided to choose UNC Charlotte to continue your higher education. Again, we have a program plan that will help you get started. It's not like a vaccination. You won't learn everything you need to know in just 1 hour, but we will give you support and where you can find answers when you need to. Now, before I turn it over, I just want to digress a little bit on a personal note. About a year and a half ago, I had some surgery that was done. And while I was in the ICU recovery, I met an individual, Matthew Williams, who was my ICU critical care nurse. He and I got to talking, and I found out he has an undergraduate degree in fisheries biology, and he was interested in going on to graduate school. I just learned that, well, I learned actually earlier on that he has been accepted into a advanced nursing program and is going to start his program of study this fall. And he's here today. So where you are, Matthew, I can't see you. Good to see you. I also want to say that he and I were chatting today, and he has a 4-year-old daughter who is about to start school. And he asked her, how do you feel? And she said, Daddy, I'm scared but happy. And I think a lot of you can say the very same thing. And we hope the happiness, and we hope to alleviate some of the fear of the unknown. But we'll welcome you all here. And now it's my pleasure to turn it over to our Executive Director for the Center of Graduate Life and Learning, Dr. Joe Huerta. Joe.
Thank you, Dean Reynolds. That's a great recruiting story. Thanks for sharing that. Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm Jill Huerta. As Dean Reynolds said, I'm Executive Director of the Center for Graduate Life and Learning, and I'm thrilled to have you here today. It's a quick program, and we want to hurry up and get to the point where we answer your questions. You'll have the ability to chat in questions, and I would encourage you to start doing that now. If you know you have a question, chat it in so our team can queue it up and make sure it gets to the panel. So I'm going to be brief. I have 4 points to make today. The first point is to remind you that Saturday at 12:30 will be the new graduate student welcome reception held in the Alumni Pavilion on campus. It'll be a great time. We're going to have food. We're going to have music. We're going to give away free stuff. Everyone likes that. You have to start your swag collection. And we'll have partners there to share information with you, including a table for early entry students to get information specific to your early entry status. So don't forget to attend that. My second point is that I want you to sit back for a minute right now and think about this very moment. I think when you're starting a graduate program, it's really easy to start thinking about the whole multi-year process and think about graduating and what you're going to do after graduating and all the things you need to do to get from here to there. And that's great. You should be planning and thinking about all of that. But the other side of it is to live in the moment for a minute and think about this moment right now, which is the start of your graduate program. And I want you to reflect for a moment on everything it took to get to this moment, to get to the start, because it took a lot if you think about it. And do me a favor and help me make this point. So I'm going to ask you, if you have had to move from another city, another state, or another country to begin your graduate studies today, chat in for me where you moved from. Dayton, Ohio, Montana, India, Brazil, Chapel Hill, Raleigh, Florida. Oh my gosh, I can hardly keep up with this. Greensboro, Durham, Vermont, Pennsylvania, New York, Mumbai, Bangladesh, Pune, India, all kinds of different locations. So you all had to figure this out, how to move to a new city, state, or country. Let's do another one. If you are parents or step-parents or the caretaker of your parents or of anyone else, any kind of commitment like that in your life, chat it in for me. Tell me how many kids you have or who you take care of. 4 kids. I also have 4 kids. That's a lot. Mom of 2, 3 kids, 5 kids. Wow. Married with 2 teenagers. Mom of 1, caregiver of my mom, 3-week son. Wow. That's a lot of change in your life. 1 child, 3 months. Mom of 3, expecting 1. That's a lot of caregiving. The caregiver of my husband. Yeah, so that's a lot of caregiving in this group. Let's do just one more. If you are going to be a student who works full-time while you attend school, chat in, dad of 2 girls, wonderful. Chat in for me what you do or what company you work for. Tell me about that. Middle school teacher, full-time mom, educator, full-time faculty here, amazing. Elementary school teacher, compliance officer, data analyst, chemist, product development, actor. This is a really interesting group. I think we have a lot to look forward to. Historical document editor, freelance writer, model. Well, I wish you could unmute and model for us. Marketing analyst. So, and they're still coming in. So I think that you can see my point that to get here today, you had to figure out how to move to a new city, a new state, a new country. You had to work out caregiving for your children or your parents. You had to work this out with your spouse, come up with a schedule that would make your life work. You had to navigate how you're going to do this while working full-time or part-time. And that's not all, right? To get here today, you had to succeed as an undergraduate. You had to make decisions about your future career. You had to research schools and decide which ones to apply to and then apply to them and then choose the school that you would attend. You all did really, really well at that part. You made a great choice and we're happy that you're here. But it just took tremendous strength and innovation and creativity and hard work to get to where you are now. So I want you to think about that, and I want you to remember this feeling because there's going to be challenges while you're in graduate school, right? You're going to encounter things that are hard. And I want you to remember that you can handle things that are hard. You've already navigated things that are hard. And that same strength and scrappiness, I love scrappiness and resourcefulness, the same thing that got you through all of that, that's what's going to help you navigate the challenges here. You can draw on that strength. So that's point 2. Point 3, even though you're strong and resilient and innovative, you don't have to do this alone. There's so many resources at UNC Charlotte to support your success. You just need to look for them and reach out to them. And a lot of them are going to be discussed today. So I'm just going to discuss my personal favorite, the Center for Graduate Life and Learning. We are a center that oversees professional development, community building, and wellness for all of you, for all the graduate students on our campus across all the programs. And we do a tremendous number of things that I don't have time to list here, but I'll get everything from helping you chart your career path, get ready for a job search or an internship search with workshops on things like writing your resume and writing your cover letter and answering interview questions and networking, to programs that will help you build your skills as a student, things like academic writing. I've noticed a lot of you have already signed up for next week's workshop on forming and maintaining strong writing habits. So that's a great idea and a great way to kick off your graduate work, to social events. So we'll hold a fall social, we'll hold social events specifically for parents. I saw lots of parents out there. Be on the lookout for a Halloween party. But you can learn about all these things we do by reading Grad Weekly, which is our weekly e-blast that comes to your email every Monday morning. And it lists everything we're doing. And I can't emphasize enough the importance of reading that, signing up for events, and getting them on your calendar and honoring that commitment to yourself. You're here to learn your discipline, and you should work hard in your classes and in the lab and on your research. But I can tell you that research in higher ed shows that if you take a little time away from that to do some professional development or to do some wellness or to socialize with people outside of your discipline and connect and engage with them, not only will you be happier and mentally healthier and more satisfied with your graduate degree, but you'll be more successful in metrics like time to graduation and publishing while you're here. So do these things not just because they are fun and you want to do them and they're good for your growth, but also because they're good for your success. And I know that's ultimately why all of you are here. One final point, which is right now at the beginning of your graduate degree, this is the time to build your professional reputation. I'd encourage you all to think of yourselves as professionals, young professionals launching a career. And that means that you should act professionally. So, for example, when you sign up for things, honor that commitment or send an email if you need to cancel. Think about it in how you carry yourself, network with everyone you meet, because you never know who's going to help you get that internship or help you get your first job or help you with a problem you're trying to solve in your research. Take advantage of your fellow peers and take the time to engage and network with them and recognize them and be a leader while you're here at UNC Charlotte. And most importantly, keep learning and growing. Don't just focus on a very narrow set of interests. Make the most of your graduate degree by growing in every way you can. So I really look forward to interacting with you all this year. And right now I'd like to hand it over to the Assistant Dean of the Graduate School, Sandy Krause.
Great. Thank you, Jill. And welcome, everybody. I am Sandy Krause. I'm an Assistant Dean for Graduate Academic Services in the Graduate School. We expect a record number of graduate students this fall, and I know that many of you are international students. Now, in previous orientations, I would try to welcome everybody in their home language, but looking at our diverse student body now, I think it would take my entire presentation if I tried to do that. So what I will ask you instead is that if you see me on campus, please stop me and introduce yourself. If you're an international student, then you can share your greeting with me. Well, here you are at the beginning of a new journey, graduate school. I want you to trust that your undergraduate experience has prepared you well for these next steps. Today, I want to take just a few minutes to talk about some expectations. When you were an undergraduate student, you probably were given very detailed instructions and perhaps sometimes even study guides to help you complete an assignment. In graduate school, it's very different. We expect you to be an active participant in the learning process. Often you will be solving your own problems and you will be developing new ideas with much less guidance. Graduate school is more about learning from each other and sharing knowledge, and less about getting it only from the faculty member. You'll be expected to ask good questions if you don't understand some of the material. However, you should ask good questions that will also add value to the discussion. You'll want to do additional research if you don't understand a concept, and find the resources you need in order to make good progress. We have higher expectations for graduate students. For example, we expect that you already understand academic integrity, cheating, plagiarism. Where do you draw the line with collaboration? All of these have to do with academic integrity. And if you feel as though you don't understand them as well as you should, there are resources for you. The Center for Graduate Life and Learning, the library, the Dean of Students Office. And I think some of my colleagues will add some of the links in the chat for those places. It's also important to understand what the graduate grading scale is. A, B, C, and U. U being a failing grade. Graduate students are expected to make A's and B's. And while an occasional C is okay, you've got to be aware that the accumulation of 3 C's will trigger suspension. And some of your programs have even stricter policies. So it's vitally important that you understand not only graduate school policies, but what your program policies are. Every program is going to have a graduate program director. And if you don't know who that is, you need to find that out today. In addition, you've probably been assigned an academic advisor. A lot of the programs will also have staff support for student services. There's an infrastructure built to provide support for you to be successful. Make sure you familiarize yourself with these people so when you have questions, you know who to ask. The graduate school is also available to you to answer questions. We have a graduate academic services team that is there to help not only you, but your academic advisor and your graduate program director understand the policies and processes. So if you have any questions along the way, we hope that you will reach out to us. There's plenty of tools and resources to ensure that you'll be successful. As Jill alluded to earlier, the Center for Graduate Life and Learning does offer writing support. Faculty are going to expect that you already know how to write in an academic voice. So please reach out to the Center for Graduate Life and Learning, look at their coursework. They have workshops throughout the academic year. Please take advantage of those opportunities in addition to their professional development and community building opportunities. As Jill mentioned, this is the beginning of building your professional network. Another great resource for you is going to be an Atkins library, the subject librarians, for those of you who are doing research. These are librarians who are experts on different domains. I would encourage you to find out who your subject librarian is and reach out to them sooner rather than later, because they will be able to help you with your research in a variety of different ways. I think it's fair to suggest that many graduate students can experience stress and time management issues at some point during their academic career. Should you find yourself in this position, I would really encourage you to reach out to the Center for Counseling and Psychological Services. They offer individual sessions as well as group sessions. And their website also has a number of different tools and resources for you in case you want to find a place to start. If you find yourself in crisis, be it medical or otherwise, the Student Assistance and Support Office is there for you. They are able to advocate on your behalf with faculty if necessary and work with you to explore options to help you get back on track. We also have an Office of Civil Rights and Title IX, and they are responsible for a number of things, but they include educating, preventing, and responding to sexual harassment and assault. Now, we hope that you'll never have to contact them, but know that if you do, you can reach a case manager who will work with you confidentially. If you find that you have a problem, that you simply have no idea who to contact or where to look for guidance, we have a graduate student ombudsman. His name is Dr. Bruce Taylor. He is full faculty in the College of Education, and I am here to tell you, in my 28 years in higher education, I have never met a stronger supporter for students. Dr. Taylor will not be able to answer all your questions, but he will be able to provide you guidance and a roadmap to somebody who can. Now, I know that I have given you a lot of information here, and I don't expect for you to remember it all, but what I want you to take away is that collectively, we are there. Our goal is to ensure that you're successful, and we are there to be as supportive as we possibly can. So with that, I want to wish everybody a strong and productive semester. And now I will turn it over to Dr. Aura Young, Assistant Director for the Center for Graduate Life and Learning, and her student panelist.
Thank you, Sandy, and welcome everybody. We're so glad to have you here, even though we can't see all of your faces yet. As Sandy said, I'm the Assistant Director for the Center of Graduate Life and Learning. If you haven't heard from me yet, you probably will at some point during your time here at UNC Charlotte. So today I'm going to introduce to you our panel of Graduate Life Fellows. And this also gives me a moment to plug the core competencies that we work on developing within students here in the Center for Graduate Life and Learning. So we have, various things that we want you to excel at other than your academics, right? So we want you to have great communication skills. Many of you need to become like good teachers. We want you to be culturally engaged. We want you to be ethical scholars. And leadership is another competency that we work on. So the Graduate Life Fellows are a group of students. Well, we put a call out every spring semester. We say that we need Graduate Life Fellows. These students help convey to us the needs of graduate students. They come up with interesting programming. They develop the programming. They have ideas and see these ideas through to the end, to their fruition. They are always at our orientation events, doing panels like today. So they're really important, and they learn a lot of leadership skills through their work. So in the springtime, you can watch out for that. Oh, also, and they get a $5,000 award for the year in exchange for that work. But anyway, so today we have our panelists. I'm going to let them introduce themselves one by one and just tell you briefly their name and what they're studying here. And then we're going to get to all of your questions, or as many of your questions as we possibly can. So let me see. First, let's go with Mckenna.
Thank you, Dr. Young. Hi, everybody. My name is Mckenna Cunningham, and I am currently a second-year full-time student in the MBA program within the Belk College of Business. So if you have any questions, specifically regarding the MBA program or, the Belk College, I'm here, but I also can answer any questions about other things because I was also an undergrad at UNCC.
Thanks, Mckenna. And Mike?
Hello, everybody. My name is Mike Udwebo, and I'm a third-year PhD student in the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering. So nice to be with you guys here. I happen to also be the past vice president for the Graduate and Professional Student Government. So if you're really interested in campus activities and things like that, I'm your guy.
Thank you, Mike. And Mike is joining us from Iowa today. Very dedicated. And then next, Hamideh.
Hi everyone, my name is Hamideh Hosseini. I'm a third-year PhD student in INES program. My background is architecture. Please feel free to reach out if you have any question about graduate program or general questions about studying as a graduate level at UNCC.
Thank you. And Janatul?
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Yan. My name is Janatul Firdaus Moon. I'm a fourth-year PhD student in the Department of Bioinformatics and Genomics. I am from Bangladesh. I did my undergrad over there. And I am so excited to meet all of you, talk to all of you. So feel free to ask any questions, come to CGLL, meet with us, talk with us. We're going to have a lot of fun time together. Thank you.
Thanks. Claire?
Hi everyone, my name is Claire. I am a second-year MHA student and I am originally from New Jersey. So if you have any questions, I hope to see you guys around. And yeah, reach out if you need anything.
Thanks. And then Cherie.
Hey everyone, welcome. So I'm Cherie Harper and I'm a third-year doctoral student in counselor education and supervision. Housed in the College of Ed department. And I also received my master's right here at UNCC in school counseling. So background in counseling, school counseling, all that good stuff. A shout out to the educators. There's always a lot of you all. Appreciate y'all. And so, yeah, so feel free to reach out if you have questions. I'm happy to help in any way I can. So looking forward to meeting you all.
Thanks, Cherie. And GLFs, if you want to like drop your contact info in the chat, that you could do that. Or if folks want to reach out, we've got their profiles on our website, which somebody could drop that into the chat as well. So I'm going to start getting into questions here. We have a lot of questions about Canvas and a lot of students who are nervous because their Canvas course has not appeared or not all of them have appeared. So GLFs, what's going on here?
I can go first.
Okay.
So someone asked about parkings during weekend. So you can reserve parking for the whole for 2 semesters, which is 9 months. I guess the price is $300, but you should check on the website. It might be less, but you can also get daily tickets. If you think it does not worth for you to get for the whole 2 semesters, you can also do that.
Sorry, guys, I had to backtrack a moment. I do this every time. I totally forgot one of our GLFs. So Maruch, would you like to introduce yourself? But I'm really sorry.
No, absolutely not. Hi, everybody. My name is Maruch. I am from Lahore, Pakistan, and I'm a master's student here in communication studies. So if you ever have any interest in communication studies, style, rhetoric, theory, satire, political communication, feel free to reach out. You'll probably see me in a bunch of other events. So I hope you just don't get bored of all of us, but we are always here, happy to help with anything and share a cup of coffee or tea. So feel free to reach out, and I hope you guys an amazing, amazing semester.
Thank you. Okay, so in terms of the Canvas courses, if they're not showing up right now, they will. People do things at the last moment. So don't worry, that stuff will all appear before your classes start on Monday. But let me see, we had another question. So if a course is online with no specific meeting times and no instructional method specified. What does that mean? I see you nodding your head, Mckenna.
Yeah, I can take that one. Yeah, so that's a really good question. Essentially, if it says that, that means your class will be remote, but it can either be synchronously remote or asynchronously remote. And basically the difference is that with a synchronous class, your professor will have actual meeting times, usually over Zoom. And then if it's asynchronous, they'll just post videos. But they'll tell you that in the syllabus once your class is posted. So you don't need to worry about that or anything. So yeah, just keep an eye out on that. And like Aura said, my classes generally don't show up until the first day of class. So if you have a class that doesn't start till Tuesday, your Canvas page probably won't show up until Tuesday morning. So don't be worried. It happens to all of us.
And since we're talking about Canvas, well, for people who aren't familiar with Canvas, do y'all have any tips? I know that like the Canvas platform might look different from one class to the next, and what even is Canvas in the first place? Maybe we should have started with that.
I can take it.
Okay.
Hey everybody, so Canvas is this amazing resource that you have in your phone or your website. I've seen both sides of it, from being a TA to being a student. First of all, the first tip that I have is that make sure that you go to all the sections mentioned in every course. So in modules, you have your entire semester broken down in weeks for some professors. And for some professors, they upload their courses and syllabi on the top of their home. So for Canvas, the most important thing is that you have to explore it. And then on the left side of your Canvas, if you're having trouble, there is a chat resource available. If there is something you're unable to find, you can always reach out to them and they will send you like a video or sometimes even chat with you live during business hours. So do not, hesitate to reach out, because sometimes people have trouble finding, the right resource just because they're not looking around. And also just an insider tip, every time you log into Canvas, every time you submit your assignment, your movement is tracked. So make sure that you submit it on time, because if you say that I was unable to do it and you were there, it can be tracked. Your professors and your TAs are able to see it. So be very, very smart about it.
Right. Thanks, Maru. Yeah. So the way that each professor sets up their Canvas course, it sort of varies. And so if you're having trouble navigating, if it's not like a question for your professor, if it's like a technical question, the Canvas support is really helpful. And even like if you're chatting with Canvas support and you're not getting the answer you want, you can ask for a different representative, because sometimes we just don't know how to explain what we need to say, and you just need to find somebody else who understands it. Okay, so I've seen a lot of questions about things that can be found in degree works. So I would love it if somebody could explain what degree works is and what you can find there.
I think I'll take that one.
Okay.
My name is Janet Morris, and I am Director of Graduate Academic Services in the Graduate School. And DegreeWorks is our tool to help guide you through your curriculum for your program. It's going to include all of the requirements, all of the courses that you need to take, as well as any of those, well, we're calling them non-course related things. So for example, if you're a doctoral student and you're doing a dissertation, you're going to have to do a qualifying exam, and you're going to have to propose your dissertation and defend it and so on. So all of those specific things that are necessary for you to get from the beginning to the end, to graduation, show up in your DegreeWorks worksheet. And that can be found at, somebody put it in the chat, degreeworks. I think we've changed it now to charlotte.edu. So DegreeWorks is out there, and somebody asked earlier, I'll just mention about who is my advisor. Go to your DegreeWorks worksheet, because at the very top of your audit, it will tell you who your advisor is, okay? So that information is available there as well. Please look at your audits. It's the guiding tool. It's what we use to clear you for graduation when you finish this process. So really important to look at it. And if you have questions, feel free to reach out. Thanks.
Thanks, Janet. Yeah, you could think of DegreeWorks as like, it's like your transcript, but it's live. So you can just check it out all the time and see what you're taking, what you need to take, and your advisor, like Janet mentioned, you can go there today, right now, and find your advisor if you're not quite sure who that is. And don't be embarrassed if you don't know, because as far as I know, they're kind of randomly assigned at the beginning. So let me see here. So we have a lot of questions from non-traditional students. We have a lot of non-traditional students here all the time. So definitely don't feel like you're alone if you've taken a break between undergrad and graduate school, or if you're studying something different now. Do any of you GLFs have some advice for fitting in as a non-traditional student, or maybe a slightly older student? I guess
I can take that one.
Okay, Claire, thanks.
Yeah, so I graduated undergrad in 2019, and so I took about a 2-year break to work full time, and I still actually work while I go to grad school, so a little bit of a non-traditional student. But I would say the biggest thing is really making an effort to connect with your fellow classmates. You will have some kids that are early entry, kids that, you know, just graduated this past spring, and then fellow non-traditional students. So really just making an effort, you know, to be present. We're all here because we want to be, you know, we sought out this degree and we really want to take this next step in our life. You know, so make the most out of it. Everyone's really, really friendly and encouraging. We're all here for the same reason, to learn. And then, you know, just brush up on your organization skills. You know, school is a lot. You're taking a couple different classes. You have family, work, you know, competing priorities. So definitely try and stay organized. For me, I'm a huge planner person. I love physical planners. I know Google has a great calendar application. Some people do like notes apps. So whatever works for you, definitely stay organized and make sure you know when assignments are due. You know, when you maybe want to go to a cool event that organization is hosting, and then really make sure you're carving out time to rest and relax. And take a break, because that's really important too. You know, this is not a sprint, it's a long marathon, and you want to make sure you get to the end and have a happy, enjoyable time. So definitely make sure you're carving out time for that as well. And of course, you know, the CGL is a great resource if you just want to talk to someone or you need a little bit of help. Definitely proactively seek that out before things get really bad. But yeah, it's definitely doable. If anything, it's been more enjoyable for me now that I've had the time to have real life experience. And come back and really value my degree.
Thank you, Claire. I just wanted to just interject really quickly. If your question doesn't get answered today, we'll follow up in a few days, and you can also reach out to all of us directly. You can reach out to me directly if you have any questions, and we'll get them answered. We do have a lot of questions about ID cards. Mike, you're smiling. What can you say about ID cards?
Sure. So for ID cards, you can pretty much start the process online currently, and they'll require you to put up a photo picture of yourself, and then they'll send you an email as soon as the ID card is ready for collection. I saw somebody who raised a question about if the ID cards could be sent to him. I'm not sure, but I put in both the website as well as the phone number of the auxiliary services. So you might want to go ahead and do call them for that. Yes.
Thanks, Mike. And yeah, Cherie also just put that link in there. So if you have any issues with your ID card, that is who you would need to contact. I guess if you're not coming on campus, I think you can get like a virtual ID card or something. Go explore their website, because if you're never here, I don't think you really need to have a physical card. Do any of you guys have any advice for people who are studying primarily or entirely virtually? For like, what advice do you have for like staying connected with other students and for feeling like you're part of a community and all that kind of stuff?
I can take that. So as all of us GLS, we started our masters during the time when COVID was almost like at the end phase of some classes were still virtual. The one thing that we all decided on as a cohort, that was my cohort, was that would have at least a physical meeting, if not every month, every other month. So if that is a possibility for you and people are still in the city, maybe try to meet up, if not, in person, maybe virtually. That is not an academic meeting. So it's nice to have a social place virtually or in person to try and communicate with them, because these are the people who you're gonna make friends for life, because they help you through your struggles. Sometimes some of them are going through the same issues that you are. So don't be afraid to reach out to people only because you have not physically met them. So it's important to reach out and start the process of communicating to make that community.
Thanks, Maria. And in terms of virtual events, we have virtual events through the Center for Graduate Life and Learning. So you can always find those on our calendar. And if you follow us on social media, you can find, last minute announcements and things like that as well. So you can stay connected that way. Let me see. So we have a lot of questions about dress code. Have any of you encountered a dress code for any of your classes? Even Mckenna in the business school, you have not? Okay. We're pretty casual down here in the South, so you don't have to worry too much about that.
But I will just throw out, I'll just throw out there too, just checking with program as well, because I know even for my program, talks about dispositions. So that's just like things that you have to abide by as a student. So it's just, you're on the side of caution and just kind of be kind of professional, because you are representing like yourself and a professional essentially.
Yeah, I would say, just use your best judgment, show up respectable and how you want to present yourself. We are in grad school. But if you're having maybe a rough day and you just came from doing a bunch of other things like leggings and a sweater, I've done that before. Just, nothing too inappropriate, just a good rule of thumb to follow.
Thanks so much, guys. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a good idea to just, at least maybe the first week of school, err on the side of maybe slightly more formal, I guess. Let's see here. So, guys, I always wonder, like, what advice could you have given yourself if you could go back in time and talk to yourself when you started grad school, if that made any sense? What do you wish you knew before you started grad school? That's actually really important.
That planners are, underrated, that you need them. That I didn't do it for my first semester, and that was a mistake. So if I could give myself an advice, I would be like, go spend $10 on a planner, or like download an app and write it down. Because you might think that you're very, very good at it and you're going to keep it all in mind. But the moment dates start piling up, it's going to make things, you're still going to make it. But the point is, how are you going to make it better? So I would advise myself from a year ago to buy myself a planner and write things down.
Nice. Yes, that's good advice. There's a lot to keep track of in grad school, plus the rest of life. What else, guys?
I would just go back and tell myself that there is no such question as a stupid question, because I was so afraid of asking questions and it made my life so hard. So I would just tell everyone there is no such question as stupid questions. Feel free to ask whatever you want to. We're all here to answer your questions. Thanks.
That is a really good point. And yeah, I always try to mention that, because you come to grad school and everybody has imposter syndrome. Everybody thinks, oh, I'm not actually supposed to be here. I'm not smart enough. And you don't want to ask questions, but like, you really have to. You have to ask questions of your more senior colleagues, especially like ask them what to expect in your program. You'll maybe even need to ask them, like, what is your comprehensive exam going to look like? Like what was it like for them to take that? Or like, what was their proposal defense like? And then, if you're a non-traditional student, if you took a big long break from school, like you might have a ton of questions about so much stuff on campus here. You just need to ask. So definitely ask questions. What else, guys? What else?
I would say actively seek out like professional organizations in your field. I don't know about engineering per se or like the MBA department, but I know for my program, we have like a national organization called ACHE. And so that obviously comes with a lot of perks of learning materials, that network that's invaluable, and just getting really aligned into your specialty field, as well as we have student orgs here in UNCC. We have a city org where you can get connected to local Charlotte professionals in that field. And so thinking long-term, once we graduate, like what does that network look like? What's that job field look like? And starting to form those connections early and really taking advantage, because there's a lot of student discounts out there. A lot of people want you to succeed. So I really do the research early on to make sure like what are the orgs and the people that I really need to be connected to so I can make the most of the experience.
Excellent. And Cherie, you had a comment?
Yes, I would just say give yourself grace. That's something that I'm learning through my doctoral program. But it's just like, it's okay. It's going to be okay. And not to be so hard on yourselves, because there's so much going on. So many layers to education, to the world, everything that's happening. So give yourself grace. But also make sure that you have supports. So that was one thing that was very helpful, was the cohort that I was in. So being able to connect with my peers, and we would do study groups, we would get together and ask questions and things like that. So having that, staying connected with your professors, be upfront with them, keep that communication open so that they build those relationships. And of course, take advantage of all the resources on campus. So counseling, all the things are paid for. So take advantage.
Cherie, since you're a counseling student and you mentioned counseling, maybe you could elaborate a little bit on that.
Sure. And I had the pleasure of working in CAPS a little bit. So CAPS is the counseling center on our campus, and they do provide free counseling services. So for individual counseling, typically 6 sessions or so, but they can also refer out to other organizations. There's group counseling, there's group therapy, student support groups. There was an awesome graduate student support group that I was able to be a part of and facilitate. That was an awesome support and resource. So there's just a lot, and I'll put it in the chat for us too, but there's a lot of resources within the website as well to just help to make sure that you're taking care of yourselves and your mental health and your overall well-being. But it's all free. So
yeah, you should take advantage, even if you think that your mental health is perfect. If you've got sessions there that you could take advantage of, why not do it? And also, if the counseling sessions are confidential, so you can tell them whatever you need to tell them. And then let me see, Hamideh, you had your hand up, I think.
I guess everyone point out really good things to do and follow. I just wanted to mention, don't afraid of failure, and nothing, everything that you start to do doesn't have to turn out perfect. And it's okay. It's eventually you will get there.
Yes. So for you guys, what are some of the biggest, oh, sorry, wait, there was a hand up somewhere else that I saw briefly. And wait, Mike, go ahead.
Yeah, Cherie has mentioned that before. What I would just want to reemphasize communication. Why? Because it doesn't matter what you're going through. It doesn't matter how you're feeling. If you don't communicate it, nobody knows. For a lot of us international students who come from different cultural backgrounds, we have this way. There's a culture. People who are superior to you, your professors, lecturers, staff, you see them as very distant people. So it's one of the first issues I had really was reaching out to professors to let them know areas where I was struggling or areas where I needed help, or if I needed 1-day extension. But then I realized the whole class was getting an extension, and I wasn't. Why? Because I wasn't, talking about it. So I want to just advise. Whatever cultural ideas you have, maybe, I'm not saying you should throw it all away, but try and learn, how to communicate better with your professors, with your colleagues. You realize life becomes easy when you actually do communicate. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point, Mike. We have a thing we say in English that the squeaky wheel gets the grease. So if you don't speak up, you're not going to get what you need. You know, you got to say something. So let me see here. So yeah, somebody had asked, what's the biggest difference between undergrad and graduate school? What's different in grad school? What makes it different?
I think the biggest difference that I have felt, Aura, is that even if you're like literally just walking out of one door and now you are a grad student, you were an undergrad like 3 months ago, the level of expectation of a professor from a grad student is different from that of an undergrad. Being a teaching assistant here and having taught here, I can tell you that there are certain liberties that you can, and I'm not trying to scare anybody. I was that person when I came back here. Like, you know, it's, if you're trying to like grow into a grad student, start thinking in a way of a professor for a minute, because now having crossed over that limit, the expectation of your work, the expectation of your assignment to put in is slightly different. So you're going to have to understand the, you know, the difference between the rubric of submission for a grad student and for that of an undergrad student, because at the end of the day, it does come down to how you are able to perform in the program. So you're going to have to sort of reprogram your brain when it comes to submissions and being able to access a professor or any resource.
Yeah, exactly. What else? Mike?
Yeah, I would say for me, the large difference is responsibility. Just keying into some of the things Maruk has said already. In grad school, you're pretty much become very responsible or more responsible for yourself. The way I like to explain it to people is this. I say in grad school, you are not just doing just enough to pass. You're not just trying to get the grades. You're trying to become a professional. You're trying to become somebody other people can rely on. So it takes an extra effort on your part to actually understand some of these concepts, to actually get what is being taught. If you're having issues, I mean, reach out to the professors. I will say again, they've been very helpful. Everybody here wants you to succeed. They are always looking out, trying to help you succeed. So don't have this mindset of maybe someone is trying to pull you down or somebody is trying not to, or it's not, they're not helping you to make a certain grade. All right, they're always here to help. So I mean, try and reach out, have a thorough understanding, and take more responsibility, you know, for your learning.
That was well said, Mike. Thank you. So let me see. We've had, well, I'd like to talk about like other campus resources a little bit. I would say that's one big difference between undergrad and graduate school, because like when you're an undergrad, maybe you can get by without taking advantage of a writing tutor, or maybe you never visit the career center or whatever. So yeah, let's talk about that. What sort of professional development stuff do we have and other resources for grad students that they should take advantage of? Mike?
Yeah, the Career Center has been super helpful for me. I mean, Patrick helped me review my CV. I mean, they also put up events where you get to learn about writing a cover letter, how to answer interview questions, how to network. I mean, there was, I think, almost a month long, every week we were having, I mean, somebody coming. We had somebody who came in from LinkedIn also. So I'm going to really push for that. I mean, the Career Center is one of the places I will advise every graduate student, you know, to at least visit. Why? Because I mean, the end goal of all this is to get out there, you know. And so, I mean, if at all you don't visit any other place, I mean, try as much as possible to get to the Career Center. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, Aura, if we can add, I would say for all the international students, for which I see are plenty here, ISSO is an amazingly helping resource. All the people who are from Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nigeria, all these amazingly beautiful countries. When you come here, things are in some situations different. So don't feel left out. Reach out to us, reach out to ISSO. Just go visit the office, just go see where they are in case you ever need any help with any documentation, immigration, your forms that need to be signed. You need to travel outdoors. So don't feel shy to reach out to ISSO. It's a very amazing resource.
Yeah, they work hard over there. And also the Center for Graduate Life and Learning, we team up with ISSO quite frequently to put on professional development workshops that are geared specifically towards international students. We have plenty of professional development workshops in general anyway for everybody. So we put those on like in tandem with the Career Center, which is right next door to us. We also have a ton of writing support that we provide through the Center for Graduate Life and Learning. We have actually a senior writing tutor that visits us from the, I'm going to blank on the name of our writing center now since it's changed its name. It's like Rhetoric and something or other, I'm sorry. But we have a senior writing tutor that tutors graduate students specifically. So that's another resource you should definitely take advantage of. We also have a food pantry on campus, and since everybody is feeling the crunch of inflation, that's a good thing to know about, because you can go over there and get free food. Let me see, what's another thing, you guys? I'm sure that I'm forgetting something. I mean, we've got all of our recreation resources. There's the beautiful new UREC building. We have Belk Gym, we have fields, Greenway, all kinds of things to take advantage of. So let's talk a few minutes about plans for this weekend and things that you can do in the Charlotte area in general, because I know a lot of people have just moved here. We did have questions about the light rail, which is great since we've got these meetups planned Saturday afternoon. Who can talk about meetups? I don't want to talk the whole time.
Well, we are, first of all, as Dr. Huerta said earlier, there are so many giveaways, so do come join us for our social event. And after that, we have different places to go to. Most importantly, we'll walk you down the light rail, show you how to get to Center City. You can drop off at Optimist Hall if you're a foodie. You can come with us. You can come with Mike to go walk around the city. He'll be back. And you can come with me and Hamida all the way to Mint Museum. And most important thing is you don't have to be connected to us the entire time. You can go with us and then go from there your separate ways and get to explore the city on your own. It's a very beautiful nightlife city, Charlotte, and you wouldn't know it till you get your feet wet in the night culture of Charlotte and go walk around. And we are providing this as opportunity. So come with us and we'll show you around. And the rest of us, I'm going to just tell you where they're taking you. I don't want to take all of the time. But Saturday is one day to anticipate. Just dress comfortably and wear comfortable shoes.
Yeah, thank you. So these meetups are going to be right after the reception on Saturday. Everybody's invited to the reception. If we invited you, then you're invited. Doesn't matter if you're a certificate student or a distance ed student or anything. So that's going to be like fun networking and meeting other students and meeting support staff and eating some food and having some local beers. And then, like Maruk was saying, you can join a GLF and walk over to the light rail and they'll help you get on, and it will help you familiarize yourself with the city and get around. So yeah, it should be a lot of fun. And it's Pride weekend in Charlotte this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. So it's going to be like a huge festival downtown. So that'll be a lot of fun as well. Yes, and lots of yummy food. Okay. So we've got like 2 minutes left. I don't know what's the most important thing to say in these last 2 minutes. Other than, of course, whichever questions we didn't answer, we'll try to send like a follow-up document or email, or you can just email us directly. My email it's my name, it's aura.young@uncc.edu. And well, as we have tried to convey throughout this whole presentation or this panel discussion, we all just want to see you succeed. That's why we're here, because we're passionate about graduate students. So, things are going to get hard because it's grad school. There's no denying that. But we're here to help. And, you know, we all believe in you. You're our future. It might sound cheesy, but like you guys are the ones working on like the cancer research and figuring out how to make salt water drinkable and figuring out how to address prison reform and improve our education system and everything. So we're here for you. We want you to succeed. And if you need anything, just reach out. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for joining. Have a great semester. And we really hope we'll see you on Saturday.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks a lot.
See you guys Saturday.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, GLFs.
Bye.